I'm just the elephant in the room. What's your best excuse? I'm just the elephant in the room. Do you really wanna be the one to make this so uncomfortable tonight? When you could be the one to set the record straight, you think it's not the perfect time. I wish I could be the one to make it easy, but I remind you that you're gonna hurt some feelings. So you slide around the issues and little. Heaven forbid you gotta dirty up the halo. So I'm not gonna let this go. Don't know what you're waiting for. I'm not gonna let you go. So I'm just the elephant in the room. What's your best excuse? I'm just the elephant in the room. Better think this through. You don't wanna talk about your feelings. I'll be in the corner with the reason. I'm just
Hello, welcome back to Bridging the Gap, and welcome back to this segment of Elephant in the Room. This week we want to talk about a topic that we're going to be having some people in within the next few weeks and months. We're going to talk about what's going on in the education realm and some of the concerns. Before I go any further, I want to say that here on Bridging the Gap, we are a local producer here at PAC 14. We are not part of PAC 14. What we do on this show is we bring forth information, we do our research, but being human, we're not going to be perfect. So maybe you want to call it our opinion, but I just want to say when we say things, it is no reflection of PAC 14. We are very appreciative of them allowing us to use this platform, and we want to make sure that we get information out the best that we can. If there's ever any time that there's something that we need to clear up, we're going to take the next opportunity to do so. Any information that we talk on this on here, first of all, we'll let you know that little disclaimer that this is our thought, but at the same time, we're going to do our research and try to make sure that we're not too far off. Okay, with that being said, I want to go on to talk about some of the things that I have found out by doing a little bit of research with the Board of Education and what's going on in the school systems. So I'm just going to read a little report that I've been able to pull together from my research. And again, I encourage all to spend some time on Google search or whatever and find out what's going on in your district, how the stats have been, what's going on in the hallways and things like that. And it may startle you. It really might. As we here at Bridging the Gap through our newsroom and our written portion, we actually put out a little article that I want to go over because it seems that it's gotten a lot of traction. But based on reports from local news and Wycomico County Sheriff's Office, at least 6 individuals, including teachers, instructors, and guidance counselors, have been arrested or charged in serious criminal cases within Wycomico County Public Schools between 2017 and 2026. Startling. Again, this is based upon a research done, and they did break it down, but based on that report, it's been as much as 6 individuals, not just teachers, but instructors and guidance counselors that have either been arrested or charged, all right? So just because they're arrested don't always mean that they're going to be charged with it, because, and I want to also say this, everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, okay? So just because you're charged with something doesn't mean that you did it, but it is alarming to see these things happen in our great county here. So since 2017 and 2026, there has been 6 recorded incidents, and we're going to break that down. And we're going to start more recently, okay? In March of 2026, a former Parkside High School instructional aide was arrested and charged with sexual assault of a student, all right, including charges of second-degree rape, child abuse, and sexual abuse of a minor. Now, this is somebody who's been allowed to be around our youth, our future, and we're going to be having a show coming up, and we're going to bring in some of our community leaders and talk about this. But this is someone has been had opportunity to be around our young people. know, it's scary. It's scary. I'm not quite sure if there's any cameras in the classrooms, but this should be definitely a reason that we should have cameras in our classrooms, and we need to spend more time with our students, I would think. I mean, just talking to them and making sure that these kind of things doesn't happen, okay? So that was the more recent one. If we go back 2 years before now, back in 2024, February of 2024, a Wicomico High School instructional assistant, here we go, there's 2 instructional assistants here. Anyway, a Wicomico High School instructional assistant was arrested for sexual abuse of a minor following an investigation into sexual communication with a student. People of trust. You know, that's exactly what this is. People of trust. People that you trust your most vulnerable and most important part of you with, and meaning our kids. These are people of trust. We need to be able to trust them, and it's very alarming when you see this happen. But these are 2 instructional aides here, or instructional assistants that have been pretty much caught up with the same kind of accusations here. Again, not saying that these people are found guilty, or if they are guilty, but this is alarming to see these reports. If we go back about 3 years before that, October of 2021, a Bennett Middle School teacher was indicted on sex abuse charges after an investigation revealed she had exchanged sexual text messages with a 14-year-old student. Disgusting. And again, that was an indictment. You know? Our kids are there to learn. We send them to learn. You know, granted, their hormones may get in there, them in there trying to meet somebody, and you know, they're wanting to do everything else, but we send them to school to learn, and we are trusting these people of trust to take care of it, okay, and to do it without this kind of stuff happening. But this stuff happens, and again, we know this happens everywhere, but we're here in Wicomico County with this. Okay, let's keep going. All right, if we actually still in October of 2021, same month, same year, a Wicomico High School special education teacher was charged with sexual abuse of a minor. There's a pattern. 2 years before that, a James M. Bennett High School guidance counselor was arrested and later indicted on 31 charges, including child pornography and sex abuse of a minor after targeting students via Snapchat. This is disgusting. But as the people that are sending their kids out the door, you need to be aware that this stuff does happen. And I mean, you know, sometimes we hear it on the news, and yeah, it's alarming for a few months, and you know, but then we'll let it go. I mean, go away. But then it all comes back together. This is accumulating. This is concerning. This is something I think that we definitely need to be concerned about. In November 2017, according to reports, a Parkside High School teacher was arrested for selling heroin and prescription pills on school property. We're in a time that, you know, when I was going to school, I don't remember hearing about this stuff, and I'm pretty sure if I was to check with my parents, they would say this stuff wasn't going on. But we're in a time now where social media and all kinds of stuff are allowing our kids to be connected to all kinds of junk. Okay, within the school systems, there are cell phones. People have cell phones. You know, I'm going to talk about something in a few minutes about. I mean, there's incidences where the kids are throwing desks and assaulting teachers. We've got a lot going on, and we are in that time or that season where we're electing a new school board. We need to keep in mind that we're talking to those in our different areas. Ask them how will they deal with these situations. Again, what happens to these young people while they're in school will impact them for the rest of their lives. For the rest of their lives. In addition to these specific arrests, there have been other incidents of school-based personnel misconduct, such as a teacher accused of inappropriate conversation with students in 2026, and a high school coach/teacher facing charges in 2012 prior to the 10-year window, but within a similar time frame of reported issues. This is alarming and scary. By the way, Wycomico County has also been noted for high numbers of school-based arrests, and we're going to talk about that, with 210 in the 2021-2022 school year, and then 204, they got a little better, 6 less than next year, 204. Again, school safety. We need to make sure our kids are safe. We need to make sure that they're being well educated. They're not being just treated in any type of way. So when we're thinking about talking to these different people that want to be on the school board, we need to ask them, how will they deal with these real case scenarios? And those that are on the school board, how has it been being dealt with? Interesting. It's very important that we be proactive on what's going on in these schools and not reactive, okay? There's another stat that I want to pull up here. School arrests, I want to go to 2022 and 2023 school year, and I really wish I had more current ones, and I'm working on getting that information, but I'm not going to fabricate anything. So you can pull this off a line. But school arrests that were made during 2022 and 2023, all right? These are how they follow, and I'm going to have it alphabeticalized, because that's how it came up, but these are with the counties of Maryland, okay? Caroline County had 19 arrests. All right, and these are the top ones, all right? There may be some that's not mentioned here because they didn't have any arrests or they didn't have a significant amount, okay? But Caroline County had 19. Cecil had 27. Dorchester had 52. Kent County had 2. Queen Anne's had 0. So I guess these are just ones that they picked here, but Queen Anne's had 0. Somerset had 40. Talbot had 60. All right, I thought Dorchester was high till I saw Talbot's, but Talbot had 60. Worcester, yes, I'm leaving Wycomico out. I want to leave that one for last, but Worcester had 19. So the 2 top ones, or actually the 3 top ones we had right there, minus Wycomico, was Talbot with 60. Dorchester with 52. These are school arrests. And Somerset with 40. If you put those 3 together, you have a total of 152 arrests in school. That's a big number. But let's talk about Wycomico. Wycomico County in the school year of 2022 and 2023 had 204 arrests within the schoolhouse. 204. Now that again is more than Somerset, Talbot, and Dorchester combined. You can throw Cecil in there and Caroline as well. That's a lot going on, and a lot needs to be questioned on how does this happen? How does it get to that point? You know? There's other statistics that I actually was able to pull up, and again, some would say, well, what does that matter? Well, I like to know all things. Let's talk about the demographic breakdown of students in Wycomico County schools. And again, this is according to the research that we did, and we pulled off a line from different spots. And if it's a little off, please reach out to us at bridgingthegap238@gmail.com. If you're from the school board or you're the school superintendent and you would like to come on the show and talk and, rebut something that we're finding here offline or just add something, please reach out to us at bridgingthegap238@gmail.com, because I believe that we're all on the same team when it comes to wanting our kids to have the best education and the safest spots to learn. So anyway, let's break down the demographic of the Wycomico County Public Schools right now. All right, the overall enrollment, you got about 39% of them being white American. You got 37.5% being black or African American, so they're about even with the white to black ratio. But then we got the Hispanic or Latino of any race at 11.7%, and then 2 or more races, which means mulatto, 8.1%. Asian is 3%, and American Indian or Alaskan or Native is less than 1%. So it seems like when you talk about a minority in the schools, it seems like it's, as far as when you talk about, because from what I've heard from people taking census, they usually just characterize it here in Maryland, at least, as black and white, no, brown or any other. But so if you're focusing upon that, we're pretty much even black and white in these schools here in Wicomico. So, when they're talking about people of minority having, hard times in there, who's the minority in these schoolrooms? Just saying. Based on recent reports, the top 5 problems in Wicomico public schools are a high rate of punitive disciplinary actions, including emergency petitions. We didn't have them growing up. I mean, I did get in a couple of detentions for chewing gum in class and stuff like that. I got to stand in the class, stand in a corner, and actually my Spanish teacher made me pull my desk up next to her, and I thought that was kind of insulting. But here you got emergency petitions, okay? But the top 5 problems is the punitive or discipline, like the emergency petitions. Schools have a high rate of handcuffing students and sending them to the emergency room for behavioral issues. Scary. And in 2021-22 year, Wicomico had the second highest school-based arrests in Maryland. We were just talking about that. And according to the report that we got, a lot of that was either black students or those with disabilities. It's alarming. Now, of course, some would say, well, they're targeting. Well, I would be, as a parent, I would be wanting to get involved more, find out what's going on more. I know when I was in school, I'm not sure if they still do it, but we had American Education Week where the students' parents would come in the classroom, and even as a grandparent, I'm all for it, even though we're leaning more towards homeschooling. But anyway, another thing that they had a lot of problems with is the changing demographic and poverty. The school is managing a rapid increase in students living in poverty and rising immigrant population requiring English as a second language, or ESL service. Also, I didn't find in this report, but talking to the executive director of the Christian shelter, there is a very high number of homeless that's in the school system, and that's just something whole new that they have to deal with. I mean, the stress of being homeless and those of your peers picking on you. But there's a high homeless rate of kids in school. Okay, just saying. Teacher shortage is a problem we have in our schools. There's a critical shortage of teachers in specialized areas such as special education and STEM, or I call it STEM, math, and world languages. Teacher shortage means overcrowded classrooms, which means more likelihood of having problems. I mean, people, and you miss that one-on-one time when you got so many in there, and that does weigh on kids. I can tell you, when I went to school, I had a couple of teachers that, if they saw that I was down, since I was a very outgoing kid, I know that shocks you, they would, after class, talk to me, and it would be on a one-on-one level. But when you got overcrowded classrooms, how can you really interact? And I'm talking about the good teachers, okay? High staff turnover. This is something else that they're dealing with. High staff turnover. All right. High turnover rates among staff have impacted school operations, including nutrition services, where schools have missed mandatory health inspections, according to one of the publications. Okay. Another one would be unmet mental health and special education needs. All right, there is noted lack of staff trained to manage high-intensity student needs, leading to the high utilization of emergency petitions instead of therapeutic interventions, as highlighted by Maryland Daily Record. In other words, there's a lot of cases of mental illness. When I was growing up, again, you had mental facilities a lot more. You had mental hospitals, such as one that was there in Cambridge. And now, with the closing of that, it even seems like nationwide to a certain degree, it seems like that has flowed over to either the homeless population, the school system we're talking about here, or the jail system. It seems like we've all felt the effect of that. And when you're talking about mental illnesses, if you think about a parent having a mental illness and they don't have proper treatment, how are they treating their kids? And then their kids are not inheriting it by genes, but they're inheriting it because of what's going on around them, their environment. These are things that do impact our kids. It's very important that we are very much involved in what's going on in our education system, and make sure that you are meeting with these candidates that are running for school board. You should also meet with those who run for council and the county executive and for sheriff and all that. But right now we're talking about those who are running for school board. We're going to have someone that's running for school board. Actually, we've had her on the show a couple of times. We're going to be having Kanisha Lacole, who's running for school board in the near future. And I've reached out to others, and those hopefully that are on the school board that's listening or hearing this right now, or you're thinking about being a part of it, please, I'm going to try to reach out to you. But, these are your constituents. It's on you to reach out to them. It's on you to reach out to, I'm a grandparent, reach out to us. Bridge that gap. So anyway, we're going to move on to our next segment, where I'm going to be bringing my wife in. We're going to talk about praise in the park, but I did want to take a few moments and talk about this. I was going to talk about the individual candidates, but I want to touch on this first because this seems to be more pressing. This is Bridging the Gap, and thank you for tuning in to this segment of Elephant in the Room.
Jumped off the porch, now I'm just cool. I had to change my mood in life when I woke up.
Okay, we're back here on Bridging the Gap with my First Lady, Keisha James.
Hi,
Keisha.
good to be here.
Yes. As I was telling the audience, we're here in the spring season, and during the spring, you like to do a little praise in the park.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. It's coming up quickly. As we've just entered into the time change and everything.
Man. Yeah.
So it's definitely right around the corner. It's May 2nd from 10 to 2. And I'm just looking forward to having a day of praise and worship and doing it all for the benefit of our homeless. We take donations of clothing, we feed them burgers, hot dogs, and water. Sometimes they throw in some chips. I think we'll probably do chips again this year too. But it's just an amazing time and people coming together in support of our homeless, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
Now, how many years have you been doing this now?
Pretty much since COVID started, because where the idea came from, we couldn't be inside. So I was like, okay, God, we can do this outside. And I always get the park, and the mayor is amazing. Since he's been in office, I know he gets a lot of slack from people, but he really is doing a good service for this city, and I appreciate him. We get our fees waived because we are taking care of the homeless. And I really appreciate you, Randy Taylor, and I'm still praying for you because you're a good man and you have a good heart.
Okay, awesome. As I remember, a few years back, actually, Mayor Taylor did come out and actually spoke. And,
he does. I think that was last year, to be honest, at the spring one, because we do this twice a year. We do it in the spring and in the fall. So I believe he was at the spring event, and he was able to speak to everyone. And like I said, he's just an all-around good man,
Sure.
People look at his faults, and if God looked at your faults, honey, what would he see? And I just did a lesson on well done, my good and faithful servant. It's like, would he say that to you? I mean, we can't be out here judging people like that. He's a good man. He has a good heart for this city.
Sure. Okay, so now do you get different organizations to help out with it?
Different churches usually step up. Last year we had Craig Mitchell and his church come out. It was he actually brought his daughters, and he spoke. And we usually get donations. 1 year, Lakia, what's her last name? Lakia?
Yeah.
I want to say Purdue, but I don't think that's it.
I want to make sure I pronounce it right, but
but Lakia, she comes out and she sets up a table and she has clothing. Also last year, April Jackson, our city council president, I love saying that. She brought out some clothes and she was a part, and so prayerfully she'll be a big part this year also.
Sure.
And we get lots of help,
Absolutely.
The home church, it helps out, but mainly Rebirth Life does a lot. It plays a big part. So
just in case you didn't know, like Rebirth Life is actually the ministry that my wife and I have started. Now, I've seen in the past where we've worked with the homeless community. I mean, they literally come from all over the place.
They do come from all over, and you're really good because you grab one of the men and you say, come on, let's go down to Halo, and bring them on over, you know, and they love it. And I like it because we get to meet friends.
Absolutely.
Like they are our brothers and sisters, you know, and I like that. I like to put a smile on their face.
Sure. And again, I applaud you for organizing this. And I've actually spoken to Commissioner Jacob Booth from Delmar, who said he's going to come out this year and
That's what's up.
take part in it. And it's really
That's
a good
what's up.
opportunity. I know in the past that we've had some people from the county have came out and donated things. And Earl from Eastern Shore Undercover.
Earl, oh my goodness. One year he gave us blankets, and I'm so thankful for him also. I was able to go pick up those blankets from his house, and he and Summer, they're great people.
And I think we actually had one year Delmarva Conservative, gave some things.
Yeah, they provided, I think they gave a donation for food.
Sure. So again, there's a lot of people that get involved with it. And I mean, now singing, do you have singing out there?
Yeah, it is praise in the park.
Yeah.
So it's praise and worship in the park. And, you know, just some great people who play the instruments. I'm going to twist the word up if I say the word. But yeah, they come out, and we have the keyboardist and a bassist and a couple guitars. So yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. If anyone wanted to donate, again, I'm going to put Bridging the Gap 238 at Gmail at the bottom of the screen, but is there anything that you would need if they're interested in donating?
Well, like I said, we do serve hot dogs, hamburgers, and water and chips. So if you're willing to do that or make a monetary donation, that's wonderful too. Just hit us up how you would like to do so. I usually get people to volunteer in the serving. We have someone who's on the grill. They do a good job at that, and just everybody just comes together.
Sure.
One year we had what was it, Larry Dunlap's church, correct?
Yes, Cross Point Church.
Yeah,
out of
Cross
Nanticoke
Point.
Road. Great
They
group.
came out
Great
and
group.
they did a wonderful job too. It's
Sure.
I'm just looking forward every time we do it, and like I said, we do it twice a year. It seems like it's bigger and better.
Yeah, and I do remember a testimony last time by Wookie.
Wookie,
Yeah, for
yes.
those of you that remember Wookie from OC 104, Wookie got up out of his little scooter there, motor scooter,
And walk.
this was a person that the doctors told they probably wouldn't have made it out of his teens, and here he is in his 50s. And man, it was just a great time. And the more important part is that I mean, we get to meet, like you said, meet people, especially those that are without, the homeless or unhoused, and again, they are people too. I want to definitely give a shout out to the Christian Shelter, because
Yes, oh my gosh, working with Bishop Dickerson.
Yes.
He's a phenomenal man also, and what he does at that shelter, and then, you know, just working with him, and he's also also a co-host.
Yes, he is. Yes, he
Yes.
is. We're going to need to have him on. Actually, we're going to be doing him and I have talked, and we'll probably be doing, you'll probably be seeing it sooner than later. We're going to be doing a walkthrough at the shelter and finding out some more of the needs that they have there. He actually did the conversation on the bench, and he's been working very hard on getting the community leaders involved. And that's what we would love to see with these Praise in the Park. Do you need any other churches to come out, maybe to sing?
I would love for it to be bigger. Like I said, we've been doing this for a long time, and I would love to have the community step up. You know, the other churches, if your church wants to sing for us, I don't say perform because we're not performers, because everything that we do is for the Lord. So if you would like to help participate in that, again, reach out to Bridging the Gap 238. We'd love to see you. We'd love to see you. And it doesn't, we're not about denominations either. It's not about that, just like in the political realm. It's not about Republican or Democrat. It's about the work that we're doing for the Lord. So if you have a heart for souls and you want to come out, I would love to baptize. Like, I'm looking for, I have a contact with the mobile baptism man. I love to do some baptisms. I just want souls won at this event, like
Absolutely.
totally, because that's what it's about.
Sure.
Winning souls for the kingdom of the Lord.
Sure. Now, real quickly before we close out, can you give them the address and the timing again?
Okay, so I'm not really good with the address part, but it's at the Rotary Pavilion. What do you guys call it? The bandstand?
At City Park.
At City Park. So it's right there on the Main Street and Snow Hill Road
Yep.
side. So you can't miss it. But oh my goodness, I would love to see everyone and, just come out and be prepared, because the harvest is about to grow at this event. I'm claiming that right now in the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen. Now, at what time?
10 to 2.
10 to 2. 10 to 2. So you closed it into just 2? Because I know we had it one time, it was just 10 until.
Well, if it goes over, I'm not opposed to that, but it usually starts to dwindle by 2, and I'm praying it doesn't, because especially if other community members come involved, other churches come to be involved, then by all means, we can go until the night. I'll take it for the whole day, but yeah.
I remember we had the executive on right after our last one, I think. No, maybe one, I think, after the spring one last year, and there was a No Kings rally that showed up. Listen,
Oh, wow.
Listen, this is a Praise in the Park, so if there's anyone maybe watching this, and please save your No Kings rally, but if you would like to come out and talk about the King of Kings
And the Lord of Lords.
we would definitely be there. So thank you again, Keisha. Again, is there anything else you'd like to add before we close out?
No, I'm just looking forward to God moving like never before.
All right, we're going to try to have you back on again before. Oh, how about donations for the homeless? Different things as far as toiletries. Would you like any of those things? If people want to bring that when they come?
Well, usually when they donate the clothing and stuff, so yeah, you're right. Blessing bags. So if you want to donate towards that, our blessing bags consist of usually like a pair of socks, because those things they don't really have, and they become worn really quickly when you're walking these streets. But I usually put toothpaste, a toothbrush in there, men or women deodorant. I've actually found wipes that are like, they can be used for male or female, so I like to put wipes in there, because in the beginning I was doing a face cloth and soap, but they can't carry everything.
Right.
So the donation bags usually are 5-quart or a gallon bag of Ziploc bags, and you can put all that stuff in there, and that works. Thank you for that reminder, honey.
No problem. Again, we with Bridging the Gap want to make sure that we keep this community based, and that's what we're all about. So thank you again. Thank you all for joining us, and stay tuned. There's a lot more to come. We're here with Bridging the Gap. Have a great one.
See you next time.